Thank you so much for joining us in this session. You are going to be in for quite a ride on this session. Whether you are new at direct-to-messenger ads, whether you've created ads in the past, or this is your first time looking at or considering messenger ads, you're in for a treat. So we're going to talk about the power of Meta's direct-to-messenger ads and how that can actually supercharge your client engagement. First up, my name is Amanda Robinson. I am the digital gal. I've been teaching Facebook advertising for several years, I think 8-9 years. I've taught thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs the power of Facebook and Instagram advertising. I'm also a certified Meta lead trainer. I've spoken at in-person events and virtual events on behalf of Meta, and I literally live, eat, breathe, and sleep Facebook and Instagram advertising. So if you do have questions for me at the end, you can have my contact information. Let's get in touch. But let's dive in on messenger ads. What are we going to learn today? We're going to discover the power of engagement and how not all engagements are the same. We're going to focus on messenger engagements. We're going to talk about messenger ads, how they compare to lead ads that you might be more traditionally familiar with. We're also going to go over how to create a messenger ad. You're going to see the step-by-step how easy it is. And then we're going to talk about some agency considerations. If you're considering using this as an ad format for your business or for your clients, there are a few things you might want to keep in mind. So let's dive in. So why does engagement matter? Engagement is essentially what drives your reach and drives your impressions. So let's first determine the difference between reach and impressions. Reach, the number of individuals that you can actually reach with your content, the number of people, the number of accounts that you're reaching. Impressions, how many times you are reaching them. Those two metrics are heavily driven based on engagement. So if you're putting out content that is not getting engagement, you're likely not going to see very much reach or very many impressions of your content, whether that's organic or advertising. So I like to use this analogy about algorithm appetizers. Imagine if you're at a party and there are appetizers circulating around the room and they're not very appetizing. So a few people will pick at it, nibble, but basically a full plate ends up circulating all the way back to the kitchen, gets put back on the kitchen counter, and it never gets recirculated or refilled up again. Whereas if you have a plate of really tantalizing, delicious appetizers, and they go out as it gets circulated through the party, people are gobbling it up, and you gotta go back to the kitchen, fill up another plateful, come back out, people are gobbling it up, you go back to the kitchen, fill it up again, and bring out even more. Now imagine that being like your content. So if your content is so tantalizing and so delicious and so easy for people to consume and they want to consume it, they show that by engaging with that content. Those engagements are likes, clicks, comments, shares, anything where they are proactively taking any action on that post or on that piece of content. That shows a higher level of intent. And what that does, it gives a signal to the algorithm to say, hey, this content is juicy, it is tasty, let's keep serving out more and more and more of it. And that's why engagement is so critical to the success of your brand or your client's brands. And why that's important is if you're putting out cookie cutter content, let's just say you're putting out those spinach appetizers and nobody's eating them, but you keep putting them out week over week over week because, well, that's what's on the menu. It's time to change up the menu, and I'll show you why. So look at this, for example. What do you notice about these numbers? There's something in common here. Notice how as the engagement goes up, these are stats from individual posts. Notice how the engagement goes up, that your post impressions and your reach also goes up. Therefore, if you have a piece of content or a post or an ad, and it's not really engaging people with those likes, clicks, comments, shares, messenger conversations, if it's not getting engagement, you're not getting distribution. And that is important because we need to stay competitive, we need to bring our ad costs down, and we need to make sure our content is being circulated and seen by our potential customers and clients. So it does matter. Engagement absolutely matters. So then let's talk about the value of the different types of engagement. You can have, like I mentioned, reactions, likes, heart, angry emoji, all of those different reactions. You can also have comments, and you can have shares, but you can also have messenger conversations. There's a huge difference between someone browsing through Facebook and clicking like on a post versus someone reaching out and sending a direct message to your page, opening up a window of communication and conversation, and having a back and forth conversation with you. Down the road in the future, who do you think is going to be more engaged ongoing with your brand someone who's liked a post once and doesn't really remember it, or someone who has had a messenger conversation with your brand. The value of messenger conversations is a relationship building tool, and it is so crucial to us moving into a more customer focused, less about scaling, less about reaching as many people as you can, and more about getting those individual touch points and having more quality engagements, more quality touch points with your brand and your business. So there are a few ways that you can generate engagement, but each of those ways do come with a cost to them. So you can create very high quality organic content. You don't need ads. You can still do it organically. Organic is not dead. However, the key to that is that the content you're putting out there has to be engaging. If it's not engaging, it's not getting seen, and then people say organic content is dead. No, it's not dead. It's just a lot of work. It really is. You have to invest the time into it, and depending on what your time is worth, it could be the equivalent of how much you would be spending on ads to also achieve the same thing. You can do collaborations and run contests. You can run engagement ads. Engagement ads are ads that are primed for asking for engagements, comments, reactions. Or you can do messenger ads, and those are very powerful. We're going to focus a little more on that. But first, let's talk about the difference between lead ads and messenger ads. You might think, well, what do you mean? Lead ads, what does this matter? Well, did you know that as messenger ads have been evolving in the behind the scenes with Meta, they have evolved to be an extremely amazing lead generation tool. So we have traditional lead ads where you click on the ad that you see in your newsfeed or see in whatever placement it was served to you. You click on the ad and it opens an instant form, and instantly you can put in your name, your email. Usually that information autofills based on whatever you have set for your Facebook profile. That information autofills, and in a couple quick clicks, you have submitted your contact information to the advertiser, whether you're entering a contest, whether you're getting a download. There are lots of options when it comes to lead ads. But there are so many things that lead ads can't do that messenger ads can do while still acquiring a qualified lead. So let's talk about that. This here is an example of what it looks like in action. So this is an example after someone has clicked the send message button on your ad. It pops up on that first screen there, and it has a qualification message. Essentially, it's saying, hey, you want us to send a message to you. You want to engage with us in this way, but we need your permission first. So the user actually has to respond to you before it can open a two-way conversation between the advertiser and the user. So if the person clicked on an ad but then never actually engaged with you in Messenger, you can't communicate with them via that channel. So it's very permission-based. Then if they don't engage and there's a time period that passes, you'll notice in that middle screenshot there where it says the option to pause questions. So this is a great tool that's already built in. So imagine if you have all these questions in Messenger that are set to auto respond as a person answers, but the person doesn't want to be in that question funnel anymore. They can just hit pause questions. And then they can converse with the brand normally without the structured questions, or they can leave it and walk away. Or on the right-hand side there, the last screenshot, you see an example of where, they got the initial message, they responded with the email address, and then they got the completion message. So that counts as a qualified lead. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. And it is so mind-blowingly simple. Now, if you haven't ever run a Facebook or Instagram ad before, don't be intimidated. I also run a program called Swift Kick in the Ads, where I teach you the foundations of setting up an ad from start to finish using Ads Manager. So consider that. Go to thedigitalgal.com. Once you've set up an ad before, this is where we're going to start. So once you're inside Ads Manager and you create an ad, choose an objective. You can use Messenger ads for multiple different objectives. What you're going to look for is you're going to look for the option, usually at the ad set level, to set up Messenger ads. So generate leads by starting chats in Messenger. That's the option we're going for. Then when you get to the ad level, you'll see this option here to create a new messaging template. So this is where the magic happens. Once you're inside there, you can create your entire messaging flow. So we're going to walk through those options together. Please do not be intimidated. This is actually super, super simple when you're clicking through and doing this for yourself. Our first option is we get to set up a welcome message. That's sort of the qualifying message to entice somebody to respond to your business in Messenger. Once they've clicked on the send message button, this is the first thing that they're going to see. If they don't respond to this, it doesn't open that communication channel and it doesn't qualify them as a lead. But if they do respond to this, it's game on. You've got that lead. Let's keep going. So from here, you set up a welcome message. After that, you can set up your questions. You have lots of different question types that you can ask them. So you can get very, very creative with this. There are some question options here, some presets that you can collect right from choosing different question options. You can get people's phone number, email address, their address. You can get their user information, job title, etc. You can see there. Or you can create a custom question. Now, the cool thing about creating custom questions is that you'll see you have the options. You can preset anything that you want in there where it says options, yes, no. You can type any text in there that you want. Do you like the color green? Do you like the color blue? Do you want a renovation? Do you want, you can put anything in there that you want. But based on how that person responds, you can decide if that then prompts them to go to the next question, whether that completes the form or completes the messenger conversation and qualifies them as a qualified lead, or it disqualifies them and doesn't count them as a viable lead. So the power of being able to segment people that way, it is very, very important. And then you get the completion message. In this area, you can let them know what to expect next. Thanks, you're all done here, and here's where you can go from there. Or you can serve them a disqualification message saying, thanks, it looks like that we're not a good fit at this moment, but here's where you can go from there. So it's a very powerful tool for a business, and you can see it's extremely easy for anybody to set up. So now let's look at a case study. All right, we're going to get into some numbers here. We're going to get real geeky, all right? But I showed you how simple it is to set up a messenger ad. I'm going to show you the hard way, the long way around that we've had to do this traditionally, so that you can understand how significant it is that messenger ads now have all this built-in capability. You can set this up so easily and make it cost-effective for you, because I'm going to show you how hard it used to be and the offsetting costs. All right. So I have a contest that I've been running, and in the one screen on the left there, I've been running an engagement ad. So engagement ads are typically very cheap and cheerful. They cost pennies per engagement. Whereas if I was trying to run a lead ads usually cost several dollars per lead. That's typical. I usually ballpark for most businesses about $1 per lead. And that's based on my experience. That's not any official meta documentation. It's just my experience with running ads with vast different businesses. $1 per lead is roughly what you get. So I don't want to pay, my leads cost a lot more. Let's just say that because of the niche industry that I'm in. So what I tried to do is I set up an ad for engagement because engagements are cheap and cheerful and don't cost much. My intention is I want people to see this post and I want them to comment on that post. And I have a messenger marketing chatbot, a custom-built chatbot that I built in the back end that will respond to the customer. On the right-hand side, you see a messenger ad set up in the format that I just went through and just showed you. Now, when you go to set up a messenger ad, like I just showed you, you don't need any coding experience. You don't need to know how to build complicated chatbots. The workload, you can do it in literally minutes. The experience that you need, well, it's helpful if you understand how to use Ads Manager for creating Facebook and Instagram ads, but you can still be a brand newbie and you can still do this. The margin for error is fairly minimal because they don't let you put in a whole lot of bells and whistles that can make the messenger conversation go wrong. You're fairly well protected in there. Whereas building a custom chatbot, the steps involved to make that whole system happen, and this is traditionally how we would have gone about this before messenger ads were a thing, is that you need an experienced professional at almost every one of these steps, from setting up a system like ManyChat. That's the tool that I use for custom chatbot building. I have to set up a custom flow from scratch, the custom conversation flow. I have to connect my CRM system. I have to connect my email service provider system. I have to create the page post, and then I have to run engagement ads to it. The workload on this is roughly, for me, I've been doing this for several years, and I'm inspired and I know what I'm doing. It still took me about 5 hours to set that up. Experience needed is absolutely extensive. You can't just walk off the street and stumble your way into creating a custom chatbot and have it work day one. The margin for error is very high because I'm relying on multiple platforms. I'm relying on ManyChat. I'm relying on Zapier. I'm relying on my CRM system. I'm relying on my email service provider. I'm relying on so many different systems and expecting them all to work all at the same time. And sometimes these systems go down or they just have a bad day and they don't deliver. So that's something to keep in mind and consider. So once somebody comments on that post that I set up that custom chatbot to, what happens? Well, in this case, my intention with that post is that I didn't want to put any links in it, because if you don't put links into a post, typically you can, if it's a good quality post, you can get higher engagement out of it versus a link that's taking people off of the platform. So I want to keep people on the platform for the purpose of this experiment. So the post has no external links, and I'm running engagement ads to that post. And every time somebody comments on that post, it's triggering that custom chatbot. Now, heads up, you can go ahead and scan that QR code and you can try this for yourself. This particular contest does end this coming week. So if you are watching this recording past that date, you can still test it out. I'll keep that open. It's just that the contest might actually be closed. So let's move on to the next step. So when a person comments, you can see that the page automatically responds. You can see it in that little see response that signals that the page has already responded privately to that person. And in here, you can still have engagement. But it's quite a lot of setup. And when I say a lot of setup, that's what goes on behind the scenes. That's the flow. Those are all the steps. Those are all the automations. Those are all the bits and pieces and nuggets that go into making the magic happen to basically do exactly what Messenger can do in just a couple of little steps. So here's an example of the Messenger ad. So you see you have the ad set up, you have a sign up button, and it clicks to Messenger, because it has that little Messenger symbol. And then it goes right through that flow that you saw that we built. You can build right in Messenger in minutes. Right in Ads Manager in minutes, where it has the qualification message. The person gives us their email, and that's it. You're now qualified. But wait, there's more. By going through this route, guess what? It also puts the lead into Leads Center. Okay, if you haven't been running lead ads in the past, you probably haven't experienced Lead Center. And now the fact that we can run Messenger ads and qualify leads and have those leads come into Meta's Lead Center, mind blown emoji. Oh my goodness. So right from within here, it's like a miniature CRM system. You can manage those leads. You can assign them to different members of your team who are administrators or users on your page. You can see the channel that it came in through, the source, whether it was paid, organic. You also have a little miniature on the right-hand side. You can collect additional information. You can write notes that only your team can see. You can schedule a reminder to follow up. You can add your own custom labels to this lead. And you can also click and start a Messenger conversation with them, or you can look at their contact information. And this is evolving constantly. So if you haven't experienced Lead Center, you are in for a treat. And the fact that Messenger ads can qualify leads for us in a very unique way that is custom built to your business in just a few simple steps and gets us Lead Center, it's a no-brainer at this point. All right, so now let's look at the numbers, dollars and cents. So on the left-hand side, the really complicated custom ad or custom chatbot that was built. By running engagement ads, yes, the engagement ads don't cost me that much, which is great. And the leads that I have coming in, I have a high volume of leads coming in from it, which is great. But when we break down the numbers, it looks on the surface that it's costing me about $5 per lead. And for my business, quite frankly, that's quite all right. Some people have leads that come in that cost $25. Other people, I'm staring at y'all, the ones that can get leads for like 20 cents. I envy you. But then once we build in the custom chatbot time, 5 hours at $245 an hour, those leads costs, they skyrocket to $32 per lead. Whereas on the right-hand side, the Messenger ads, they're costing me just shy of $10 per lead. So I would say both experiments give different results, but when we actually break down the numbers, I am going to lean more toward Messenger ads to continue moving forward rather than building these complicated chatbots. I'm still going to experiment with complicated chatbots. There are so many other things that you can do with customizations behind the scenes. Messenger ads, one of the other considerations is that you can't have as much freeform text. So you'll notice when you try to put a custom question, it doesn't allow you to put freeform text. It's basically a multiple choice only. And that's so that it keeps the conversation from breaking. When you build a custom chatbot, there are 300 million ways it can go wrong. The amount of time that you spend testing and troubleshooting and thinking you got it right, it's like a puzzle piece that always has a corner piece missing, always. And so it's a lot of work. They're fun, I enjoy them, but still this makes it so much easier and so much more attainable for the average user to leverage the power of the engagement that you can get with customers out of Messenger conversations. Some of those other considerations, if you are going to do this on behalf of your business or on behalf of your agency running this for other clients, I wouldn't jump right into Messenger ads if you don't already have a built-up warm audience of people or a proven sales model and a proven audience that you know converts for you. I wouldn't use Messenger ads to experiment with trying to attract new people and go, oops, that wasn't actually our ideal target audience, because it can flood your entire system with negative engagement or people who are just not the right fit for you. But a Messenger engagement is such a high quality signal of engagement to the algorithm that the system will continue to deliver to more people, just like the people who are messaging you. So if they're not the right people, it can skew your entire engagement system, all of your retargeting. Tread lightly. So I recommend this for people who have established audiences and who have already been doing other types of advertising. Ad costs. These are not cheap, but they shouldn't be cheap. Think about it. Cheap and cheerful, keeping people on the platform where they don't have to do anything, they don't have to give over any information, they just have to like a post or watch a video. Those are very low touch points. They don't cost very much. But as an advertiser, we don't get a ton of value out of those. Look at the value that you can pull out of Messenger ads. They're similar to lead ads, but they're better. So when it comes to that, there's a higher cost because there's a higher value to us as advertisers. Somebody is giving us their personal information. We are taking that information and we are activating on it. There's a cost to that. And then the third point on considerations is that it really does work best if you already have a CRM system or an email system or a team who is already prepped and knows how to handle leads, incoming leads, and someone who can be responsive on Messenger. So if you have a client that you're running these on behalf of, but nobody in the office knows how to use Messenger, no one's paying attention to direct messages coming to their Facebook page, and you're pouring ad dollars into this, the cost per lead and the cost per engagement is way too high to have these leads go unanswered. Because as much as this is an automated system, it can work beautifully. People still expect real humans conversing with them in the back end. So for my contests, for example, or for ads that I run or chatbots that I use, I babysit them very heavily when I have ad dollars running, and I usually start conversations on common mutual points that I notice with people. Now, Messenger ads give us what lead ads can't. Ooh, this is the part that gets me so excited. So one of the perks that I've noticed with running Messenger ads is that when someone converses with your page, you can click to go and see their full Facebook profile, whatever they have that's public. And a lot of people, especially small business owners, have their business name listed, a link to their business Facebook page, their website listed, all sorts of information. So I can better qualify the leads based on just clicking into their profile and having a look and seeing, is this person going to be the right fit for me, or is this a lead I could nurture down the road, or should I disqualify it? Those are just options depending on your business and depending on how many touch points you want to have with these customers. Those are options. But the access to a user's public Facebook profile information to connect the real human to the real interaction is something that lead forms don't give us. Lead forms give you an email address. And that email address sometimes is the email that they preset into Facebook when they set up their account a decade ago, and they barely ever check that email address. And when you put a new user into your email service provider, I use MailChimp, for example, and you send out a first, welcome email, those generally land in spam. And when I say generally, I mean, check your open rates on those welcome emails. It is abysmal. So when we're running lead ads, all all those dollars that we're spending to acquire those leads doesn't necessarily mean we're getting a high quality lead, doesn't mean we can actually reach that person again. They've handed over their information to us. We don't know if we can continue that conversation. A messenger ad, when somebody opens up that channel of communication, we can absolutely continue that conversation. There's so much opportunity here. So I really wanted to highlight how messenger ads give us what lead ads can't. So in conclusion, messenger ads really seriously have come a long way. If it's been even 6 months since you've gone in and explored them, they're completely different. They used to be a little bit cumbersome to set up and a little bit challenging. They have been evolving so rapidly, and I would say they're finally at the point where they are user-friendly for all experience levels. So feel free to go in and try them. However, I do recommend that before you use this as an ad type, that you're doing it for a business or for yourself where you have an adequate budget to feed this, because leads cost money, and so you need a good, healthy budget. If you want to experiment with this, if your business can achieve, 20-cent leads, great, grab $100 and go and run a campaign. If you can't, then consider a few $100s on this, or if you want to run a massive campaign as a large organization, you could put thousands of dollars into this. But I wouldn't recommend testing messenger ads if you're looking to spend $25 or $50. I would have a dedicated budget and make sure that you have a well-qualified audience that you are serving these ads to. Use caution for businesses who are not ready to process those leads. It's a high volume of ad spend to let the leads fall flat. So definitely something that you want to consider. All right. I know I've dropped a ton of information on you. If you want to follow up with me, if you do have any questions about messenger ads or Facebook and Instagram ads in general, come check me out. You can find me everywhere at The Digital Gal. My website is thedigitalgal.com. And I highly encourage you to check out the Swift Kick in the Ads program. Inside Swift Kick in the Ads, it's a monthly membership. It's only $49 a month. It's built for small business owners who don't have a lot of time and don't have a lot of money to spend on learning. You want to use that precious money on your ad dollars. So we have regular office hours where we hop on Zoom. You can ask all the questions. You can get help building your campaigns, help building your ads, and help looking at the results and seeing what's working and what's not. If you did want to test out that contest, you can go ahead and try that with that QR code right there. Again, like I mentioned, if the contest is closed, I'll leave the QR code open so you can still experience this, but the contest is closing shortly, so my apologies. So that's everything that you need to know on getting exposed to messenger ads, and I really do encourage you to try them out. If you do try them out, please reach out to me, amanda@thedigitalgal.com. I would love to know how it went for you. Whether you had a great experience as a first-time user, whether you are a power user and doing this for multiple clients at an agency level, I want to know how that experience went for you. Thank you, everyone, for watching this session. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and I'll see you around. Thank you.